Kayfabe was a way to show respect to the audience and respect your own business. It was a way to protect you.
But to be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, we are the generation that you make your rules and we will break them. Give the people what they want.
Ladies and gentlemen, casual wrestling fans, smart marks, heels and faces. I'm Mr. Richard Moon.
And I'm Kayfabe AJ.
Welcome to the Kayfabe Av livecast.
Podcast.
It's the live. It's the podcast, but we're doing it live, so
And yeah,
it makes it a pod.
it makes sense some way.
You know, we're getting it together. We're working the kinks out. So talk about that King of Pro Wrestling show.
King of Pro Wrestling.
The follow-up show. We're going to talk about Raw. We're going to talk about SmackDown. We're going to talk about NWA.
Now, a lot of the storylines leading into this King of Pro Wrestling we touched up in our last episode. If you haven't checked that out, please do. This week in wrestling for October 8th.
And this is following up right behind it. So let's get it started. It started with Marty Scurll, the villain. The villain lost, man. We thought he was gonna pull through. He was looking good. He was looking good for a minute.
I definitely thought he was gonna pull off a big win, coming off of the couple wins that he's had in the last pay-per-views, winning in Ring of Honor, winning in the last New Japan pay-per-view before this event. It's kind of weird. It's like a weird space right now. Just not only with Marty, just overall with the entire elite. It feels like they're building up to, set up other people and kind of fade off in the sunset if that's what they're planning to do. And I think this is more of that. Marty losing in this big matchup.
Well, Marty was never leaving because Marty is signed to Ring of Honor for like another year. He has like another year in his contract, so he couldn't leave anyway. But
so I thought
he lost.
So who's included in the 5 that's rumored to?
Adam Page, Young Bucks, Cody, and Kenny Omega. Because all their contracts are ending all around.
See,
the same time.
that still leaves me kind of wondering what's going on with Marty going forward. Then, if he's getting these matches against Okada and he's showing that he can hold his own, he's a major star in his own right. To kind of losing this championship opportunity, I think they should have pulled the trigger on him actually winning that.
Yeah, but at the same time, what's going on with New Japan, they don't want to put all their championships on foreigners. Because they have homegrown talent. So I don't think they want to put all their belts on foreigners. Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho, IWGP Heavyweight Championship Kenny Omega. Tama Tonga, but before it was the Young Bucks, you know what I'm saying? But even though Tama Tonga and Tonga Low have come up through them, they're still technically foreigners. You know?
But I guess in Tama Tonga's case, he's like a foreigner, but he's kind of like...
He's homegrown.
Yeah, he's kind of homegrown through them, and I don't see him really going anywhere, at least within the next year or possibly more. I think he's still trying to build his stock up with New Japan. So
yeah, I don't see him going anywhere. But I do think with the Bullet Club, the Fire Squad, the OGs, I think they should venture over to Ring of Honor and things like that. Especially with the landscape of wrestling today, it wouldn't be disloyal. Okada goes over to Ring of Honor. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
so the fans they know who you are. They already know who they are. So y'all should just show up. It would be dope to see the elite over there, and then the OG just pop up. Just boom, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I think, especially going forward, if the elite are actually going to branch out and move to WWE or whatever they're planning to do, the best bet for, as the leader of the new Bullet Club, Tama Tonga has to do that. He has to branch out to Ring of Honor. He has to do these other shows.
Well, speaking of,
You know, probably even dabble with Impact. Try to do something, raise his stock
I think
elsewhere.
we're definitely going to see that. We're going to see that on a boat of Jericho, not with the OGs, but it's going to be Impact versus Bullet Club on the Cruise of Jericho. But speaking of leaders of the Bullet Club, we got a new member of the Bullet Club.
New member, the Switchblade.
Switchblade Jay White. And what's really interesting about this is January 5th, the New Year's Dash, which is basically which is equivalent. Wrestle Kingdom is January 4th, and New Year's Dash is January 5th. So that's basically a
like a back-to-back.
Yeah, it's equivalent to Raw after WrestleMania. That's what New Year's Dash is.
Okay.
And Kenny Omega tried to get Jay White to join Bullet Club. And Jay White deaded him. He did like kind of how DDP did NWO. He put on the shirt, act like he did, dapped him up, pulled him in, hit him when I forgot. I think what's Jay? I forgot what it's called.
See, and the
what his
funny
finishing move is, but he hit him with Kenny Omega with that.
The funny thing you say that too is he denied Kenny Omega in the beginning. In the post-match interview, Jay White actually says it's been a long time coming that he was going down this road, and he kind of knew he was going to end up with the group of guys he's surrounded by. He said coming in, he was around Fell and had that connection through him. And, it's funny. Did he wait for Omega to be out of the spotlight? Did he think Omega was going to be someone to stump out his shine?
What Kevin Kelly said is that he wanted to always join the Bullet Club, but he just didn't want to join Kenny Omega's Bullet Club.
Yeah, and that goes back to the post-match interview where he actually made those sentiments. They want to go back to the original standards of the Bullet Club, getting back to the finger gun gestures and back to the original feel. I feel like
he's like a modern day Prince Devitt.
He is definitely a modern day Prince Devitt. They trying to build him as such, and I see him in that light.
Yeah, he kind of looks like him. He kind of wrestles like him, kind of like his style in some ways. This year, Jay White has beat Kenny Omega, Okada, and Tanahashi. For those who don't know, Tanahashi is like the John Cena of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okada has had he's the longest IWGP Heavyweight Champion of all time, 720 days combined, 4 reigns, 12 title defenses, and Kenny Omega is the #1 wrestler in the world. So he beat all 3 of those people this year, and he just joined the OG. So
I think if the Elite ends up leaving,
it's
New
balanced
Japan and Ring of Honor are gonna be in good hands, and the Bullet Club is gonna be in good hands.
Yeah, but
the funny thing is, we said it in our last podcast. We definitely made a few points we felt should go in certain directions regarding the Bullet Club, and this is just another step in that direction. As far as the Elite not really being a part of Bullet Club, the real Bullet Club being Tonga's crew and Jay White and Jado, what?
Geto, who was Okada's former manager for years, turned his back on Okada, and it's crazy because Okada and Tanahashi might have to join forces now. Like these like immortal enemies. They might have to join forces now to bring down the Bullet Club. And it's been chaos with the Bullet Club lately. So New Japan always great with the storytelling. And guess who returned? We had a big return. The guys who running this guy's running on GOAT status right now. Okay?
He's officially confirmed
like,
GOAT.
He's running on GOAT status.
It's stamped.
Right
like
now.
you know what? When we speak of Chris Jericho, we need a GOAT soundbite because
word. That's a fact. That's a fact.
He is the GOAT. Like there's a bunch of icons, there's phenoms, there's legends, there's you name it, but there's only one Jericho, and nobody's really doing it the way he's doing it. Staying relevant at his age, keeping up the matches, the match level. No one's on Y2J's level of accolades, and so he comes out and he attacks Evil.
But the way he was, Evil has these like elaborate entrances, kind of like the Undertaker. He comes out with these druids, and Evil was getting in the ring, and then one of the druids pulled him down, started kicking the shit out of him.
They remind me of like a Court of Owls kind of thing.
Yeah.
with the mask.
Oh, good reference. And he pointed at Drew to pull him down, start kicking the shit out of him. And lo and behold, Y2J
Jericho recently has a thing for like
just dressing
being
up.
in disguise and picking his opponents.
He's fucking nuts, and I'm not just saying that just because he literally has a shirt that says "I'm fucking nuts."
Yeah,
so.
I need that shirt, by the
Word.
way.
We need to send one for
But,
facts too.
yeah.
Facts.
Yeah. So Jericho picked his opponent. More than likely, they're gonna go for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, it's confirmed that man, I should have this up. I got iPads on my lap. I got iPhones on my lap. I got blunts going through. Doing a lot right now. But now the match has been confirmed for a power struggle.
How do you feel Evil weighs as far as an opponent? Jericho has picked out pretty much icons in New Japan so far, being Omega his first rivalry and Naito the second. How do you feel he ranks in that regard as far as his opponents? Do you think this is a good challenge for Jericho?
Naito. Evil's good buddy. Naito put all the... How do I keep saying Naito? Evil put on a really good show in the G1. Naito has proven that he's really good in the ring. Naito and Sonata have beat the Young Bucks on many of occasions for the IWGP Tag Team Champions. He's a good single, so he's good. And if Chris Jericho chose him for a reason. So...
Yeah, Jericho definitely
he
has
wants
a
to
penchant for seeing
elevate him.
talent before, it's at an elevated level. He definitely tries to bring people up. That's one of the things I love about Jericho.
Yeah, you always try to put your guys over because that's what the hell it's about. Yeah. Speaking of Bullet Club, it's gonna be Alpha Club versus Bullet Club at Chris Jericho's club. At Chris Jericho's club.
Chris Jericho's cruise.
It is Chris Jericho's club, man. Are you
Well,
kidding me?
the Alpha, yeah,
But Alpha Club versus
his club.
Bullet Club at Jericho's cruise, and the Elite lost to the OGs again tonight. It was Hangman Page, Chase Owens, the Young Bucks versus Tama Tonga, Low, Balor, Fale, and Bone
This is just another example of the Elite. They're trying to leave behind
But we don't know that for sure yet. We can't speak of that. That's 100% yet.
Listen, in my mind, in my own mind, I'm definitely convinced that they're gonna either jump ship, if not, start their own promotion.
They're teasing.
There's no way the Bucks and the Elite are gonna spend all this time teasing a countdown when their contracts will end. Cody blatantly saying we're leaving as a group or we're going anywhere. Our next moves as a group. Or the possibility of WWE is there.
The things they're doing on being Elite.
Just Cody getting the Rhodes name back is kind of a hint. Like it was an issue before, now it's not an issue, and there's just a lot of things. I'm pretty convinced if it's not a WWE situation, then I'm convinced it's a all-in brand or something along those lines where they're putting on their own shows and maybe uniting the Indies, which wouldn't be bad. Honestly,
maybe
it wouldn't be bad.
Like that. Maybe something like
but
that.
I'm pretty convinced.
Well, speaking of Cody, he was in the main event. It was Cody versus Ibushi.
This was definitely
versus Omega.
This was definitely a highlight of the pay-per-view for me.
I mean, this was a really good. New Japan always puts on really good shows.
I'm just gonna say right now, in my book, this was definitely a 5-star.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
And whipping ass is all they were doing the whole entire time. You would have never, going inside this match, if you didn't know any information about the 3 competitors, you would have never guessed that all 3 of them were friends or had the relationships they had. The way they were, the match was so hard hitting. A lot of spots.
Yo, this match was
and
deadly.
the funny thing, the one of the best storylines of the match, because Omega has to do super storytelling in all his matches. So
of course. They gotta bring.
You can see the pool between him helping Ibushi,
yeah.
or trying to help Cody, and his allegiances leaning.
There was a spot in the match. There was a spot in the match where Ibushi hits Cody with his finisher move, and it goes 1, 2, and right before the referee hits 3, before Red Shoes hits 3, Omega jumps in and grabs his hand and stops him. And then he goes up to him and he apologizes to Ibushi, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And then Ibushi just goes like, he just like snaps.
That was the spot where he just starts doing the chops.
Yeah, that's
chopping. Oh my god! He was doing open palm strikes, and it was definitely a hard hitting match.
Yeah,
it went about what 20, 30 minutes.
Probably like 25 minutes. This match I posted a lot of it on the Kayfabe livecast because there was so many good spots in it. It was a 3-way match, which is only the second one. The first one was in 2000, I think 13. It was with Michael Elgin, Okada, and AJ Styles at Ring of Honor. So this is the first one actually in New Japan.
Okay.
So yeah, this match was awesome. I mean, V Trigger City.
I think everybody hit.
Everybody looked good. Everybody could have won.
Cody had a little shiner at the end of the match.
Everybody at any point, Cody was about to beat Ibushi at one point. Ibushi was about to beat Omega at one point. Anybody could have won this match at any point, but definitely. Omega closed the match out.
One of my favorite spots. Cody goes up to Omega and he's like, "I'm your friend too. The way you helped Ibushi, help me now."
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Remember that.
Puts they both put Ibushi in like a suplex position. Cody tries to small package Omega while he's in the suplex position.
Yeah,
crazy. It was good back and forth, but Omega ended up taking the win. Obviously, at the end of the night.
Yeah, ended it with a V trigger, one wing angel, and he dropped. Man, listen.
And everybody had respect for each other at the end. No turns, no swerves on their accounts. Just a great competitive match.
Yeah, great competitive match. And then when Omega was about to send the crowd home, as he always does, bid you a farewell, Tanahashi comes out. The ace, like I said, this is the John Cena of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they made it official. Tanahashi versus Kenny Omega at Wrestle Kingdom 13. Wrestle Kingdom 13. Yeah, man, this was a solid pay-per-view. I mean, New Japan Wrestling for them. For us to say, oh, New Japan Wrestling put on a solid pay-per-view, it's just like, it's not if they put on a good pay-per-view, it's how good a pay-per-view is. I mean, maybe I might be a little bit biased. I don't think I'm a little biased.
They're like the NXT promotion, pretty much. All their pay-per-views really
mean something.
They don't,
storytelling, good matches, with wrestling,
just the quality all around.
Everything
comes together in a good package. It's not really like a all up, it's all low kind of thing. They give you a good mix of everything.
Yeah.
Huge Pro Wrestling. Monday Night Raw is next up. Monday Night Raw. It starts off with the fallout from Super Showdown.
Yes.
DX is in the ring. Well, I shouldn't even say DX at this point. Shawn Michaels and Triple H is in the ring.
Man.
Obviously, they're pissed off. Listen, until I get comfortable seeing Shawn Michaels bald.
Bald Michaels.
It's a reflex. It's kind of a reflex. I love you, Shawn.
The shots for him, man.
I don't ever want to. It's not negative. It's just I'm not used to it, man. I'm not used to it. Funny, You're the greatest. But anyways, Triple H, Shawn Michaels in the ring. They're discussing this attack from the Brothers of Destruction at the end of Super Showdown, and Triple H pretty much sums it up, looks at Shawn Michaels and says, "Are you ready?" But he says, the question isn't for Shawn. The question is for the Brothers of Destruction. And Shawn he knows Shawn is ready. Shawn discusses that for 9 years, he's pretty much been on the sideline, keeping his commitment to his retirement, and he feels now it was based on the lie because there's no respect. This was a great promo. For anybody who, some people not really interested because it's the old people coming back, the old stars, but the storytelling has been great, and this promo was a good example of that. Mm. So it's pretty much the respect is lost between each other, and now he's back. They rip off their shirts, new DX shirts with the 2 sweets and the X.
Product placement, nice.
Definitely.
Wait, it's 2 sweets and an X?
2 sweets and an X. So, I mean, they're the originators, the Click.
Yeah.
They're allowed.
I know, but it's just...
So, I know Bullet Club made it, famous again, but...
No, it's just...
So, yeah, that basically started off the show. It was a good start.
I really like the segments. I have no problem with it, but I do have a problem with it. Of course.
Speak your mind.
Because that's my love-hate relationship. I like that. That's my relationship with WWE. We have a long relationship. It got rocky for a little bit. It got rocky for a couple of years. It got rocky for like 6 years.
Nah, I know. As a fan who's been watching since I was a teenager, non-stop. I know that, bro. There's been times where I skip a couple Raws, or I skip a couple SmackDowns, or don't watch SmackDown at all, don't watch Raw at all, and watch the other show. They have their ups and downs, but for the most part, I see a lot of progress happening, especially since the Brock Lesnar problem has died down, and there's actual titles on the show.
It's not contained.
It's
not contained yet. Because we're going to get a Paul.
There's a lot going on in
we're going to get a Paul segment later. But no, I like this. I'm trying to visualize Shawn Michaels wrestling bald.
Well, we haven't fully seen it yet. We haven't seen it yet. I don't know if he's going to even... Is he going to go with the same look? Cowboy pants or
I don't know.
Tights? And it's not like he didn't like segue into his baldness. Like Triple H did. It was like the low cut Caesar, boom, he goes bald. We got used to it. Triple H owns the look. To see that cowboy hat fly off, and Shawn Michaels is an icon. Every video package in that promo with the X after that, long hair, it's a weird sight. No knock. Hair. Everyone gets old, but
I know it's just
weird
different.
seeing one of my favorites.
I don't want to say weird. It's just different.
Yeah, it's different.
It's just different. But overall, how I feel about that segment. So what happened next on Raw?
So, next up was Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens, which was a great match. They actually let Kevin Owens do his thing.
Mean Kevin Owens versus Bobby Lashley?
My man.
My man Bobby Lashley. Okay, go on. Please continue, AJ.
Listen. I should say Leo Rush. Featuring Bobby Lashley versus
Leo Rush
versus Kevin Owens, because this, first about the actual match content, they let Kevin Owens do his thing, high flying spots, great back and forth match. Now, there was maybe a double turn in this match, just with Leo Rush on the side, talking the entire match. The entire crowd is booing.
I think they kind of pulled off a double turn. my man, Bobby Lashley, like he was getting booed out there. But Kevin Owens was getting cheered.
Leo Rush is amazing.
He really
and
is.
He annoys the hell out of me with the voice. So he's doing a good job. Yeah. He annoys the hell out of me, so he's doing a good job. And it leads back to what I said earlier about the statements we made in our last podcast. Bobby Lashley not being believable. Bobby Lashley a little bit stale.
Yeah. It's true. You definitely
Completely
said that.
different energy on Monday.
Yeah.
Completely different energy. Finally, the look that I've been waiting. The Wayne Brady was gone.
He called him Wayne Brady.
Wayne Brady.
He calls him Brolic Brain Brady.
Listen, Brolic
No.
Wayne Brady. I'm sorry,
No.
but the Wayne Brady was gone. He looked like he could be a force. He was being taken serious. He was really taking it to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was getting cheered left and right.
He was not a Brolic Wayne Brady. I refuse that.
Well, he's no longer Wayne Brady.
He's no longer Brolic Wayne
Now
Brady.
he's Lashley.
Now
He's Lashley. Now he's Lashley.
Now he's back to walking Armageddon.
Yeah.
The Dominator.
Yeah. So, you know, everything we said in our last podcast pretty much remedied overnight, literally.
Yeah, nah, all
And-
Leo Rush jokes aside, now that was great. That is exactly what you want as a heel. Leo Rush was annoying.
He's a modern Jimmy Hart.
His voice is really annoying.
Modern Jimmy Hart.
He can't
Give that
be-
man a mic. He's talking the entire match.
Yeah.
Instant heat. It was definitely great.
And you're right. We might have seen a double turn. I love Kevin Owens uses a Stone Cold Stunner. I love it. And the crowd was cheering for Kevin Owens. So we might have seen a double turn. And so
Yeah, so pretty much after that match,
you know,
Cena's announced to be in the World Cup. Balor and Bailey, you know, getting ready together. Now, like the mixed match challenge, I understand they're promoting the stuff, but I really could care less. It doesn't mean anything to me. There's no intergender titles. There's no trophy at the end of this. Yeah. It's for charity. I understand, but it doesn't need to bleed so much into the storyline of Raw, and that's what they did tonight. They had a match together against Alicia Fox and the Maharaja.
Mahalisha or something like
Shanti. So
yeah. So I mean, you know, it was what it was. That they really have nothing for. It seems like they have nothing for Balor, which is crazy.
soon come.
Maybe soon come. A couple of months ago. No, not a couple of months ago, but around this time last year. No, this time last year, Jinder Mahal was WWE champion. So
And honestly, I feel bad for Jinder coming on to Raw because the opportunity I don't think he's gonna get anytime soon.
No.
And he was actually good in that role.
Well,
the foreigner
they build
everyone hates, he doesn't have the greatest skill in the ring. He's not supposed to be in the spot he's in. It worked.
It would have worked if they would have built it up slower, like if he would have just been like the United States champion, and then like he would have lost that, and then just him just being WWE champion is just him getting that again. It's not gonna happen anytime soon. I doubt they ever give him a push like that again. Like the people don't want to see it because the way they put that on him like that.
Well,
it was an experiment gone wrong.
I see.
It was
I can definitely see. It was an experiment that worked though.
No, it is because there was supposed to be 2 shows in India. It only happened to be 1 show, and what they wanted to like really expand in India, they didn't really expand into India like that.
Well, their focus is in Saudi now. They got in the Saudi money, so
big oil money. That's big oil money.
So,
okay,
you know,
big oil money.
I'd refocus too from India to.
I love Balor. You know, everybody knows I'm Balor Club, but you know, I really have no interest of seeing him and Bailey in the mixed match challenges. You know, listen, Bailey. They were saying that Bailey was going to be the female John Cena coming up from NXT.
She is the female John Cena.
Finn Balor was the first Universal Champion.
It said she's already transitioning to
now we're here.
End of the rope Cena.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But now we're here, so, you know.
So,
it is what it is. It is what it is.
Rousey and the Bellas have that rematch against the Riot Squad. This was actually a good match.
Yeah, it was.
All the backlash between Brie and Liv and all that happened with the concussion stuff. They really milked it in the beginning of the match.
They milk it in the match, and they don't really talk about it on commentary, but they milk it in the match.
No, they did. They actually mentioned it. They actually mentioned the concussion and what's going on, and it actually the fans were into it. They build the heat. They were really like Liv Morgan was like putting the paws on her,
Good.
putting the stomps, putting the feet to her.
I remember that. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you know,
the Riot Squad are definitely getting better in the ring. All
she
those
definitely
girls.
pulls off like that Harley Quinn personality, thing she got going on.
Yeah.
But obviously, same thing. It was basically part 2 of Australia, except Ruby actually took the loss. Ronda, obviously.
Yeah.
It was another build up to a hot tag. Ronda comes in, wins. Now, the actual highlight of that match was after the match. The Bellas attack Rousey.
Oh yeah.
Like, really lay into her. Rousey tried to fight back. They kept jumping her. It just, I'm tired of seeing Ronda in this buddy shit with everybody in the locker room.
Yeah.
She's somebody who had 3 matches and became champion. She's from the UFC. She's legit. I get it. But this is not somebody you want to be buddy with. You're new to this, and you're already the champion. Nobody should be buddy with her. I'm sorry. So seeing the Bella Twins, turn on her, jump her. We knew it was coming because of, evolution.
Yeah.
But it was something that was like finally I'm seeing somebody do it.
Basically.
So,
I liked it. I just wish they. You know what? I feel 2 ways about it, and I don't want to feel like I'm sounding picky. I wish they would have teased it a little bit more. But when it happened, I was like, oh my goodness, wow, okay, I didn't see that happening, and that's what you want. So it was just like, all right. My only, and not even my issue with it. I have no issue with Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey. Man, I'm going to sound because it is good for business. It really is.
Yeah, it
good
is
for
good.
business.
It is.
But Ron, like I said,
And at least
on the last time,
she's at every Raw. She's doing it the right way.
She loves it. She loves it. She's gonna cry every time she comes out.
You can tell. And
my only issue.
She needs to get over that.
My only
she needs
issue,
to get over that though.
That's my only issue with Ronda Rousey.
I want her to be a badass. You're
the baddest
you're
woman on
the
the planet.
Female Roddy Piper.
You're the baddest woman on the planet.
Let's see that more.
You're the baddest woman on the planet. That's what they call you as. And I love that she's such a fan. But my only issue with that is like I said, Ronda needs to be in the ring with a veteran, with a Natty, with a Ruby, with Charlotte, with an Asuka, with somebody that can really wrestle with her, that can like really go with her. And I'm no knock on Nikki, but I mean, nobody ever said that Nikki was, she was in the Divas era. And the woman clearly made a difference between the Divas and the woman era, as far as the wrestling quality.
I mean,
we know it.
And this is something that goes along the narrative of the podcast between Lillian and Paige. They were talking about that and the stigma between divas and the women's era. I give my hats off to the Bella Twins though, because they did put in the work and they actually did things in the ring.
Yeah.
Botches recently aside and issues aside, they did put in the work. So I do give them the respect for that. Some divas were, just that, divas, but some of them actually worked up and became just as good as any other woman as far as all around. Yeah. They could contribute a lot more now than they definitely did in the Divas era. Because in the Divas era, they weren't even the best divas.
That's true. And they were a big part of, give divas a chance. And so I like it. I like the Bella Twins being heel. I feel like honestly the Bella Twins can be monster heels if WWE let them use more real
they got
stuff.
Heat. They got heat.
Now they did.
Laying into Rousey.
But they can be monster heels if they just really let the Bella Twins we show up when we want. We get paid the most. Like just let them just do real life stuff.
Yeah, they can pull that shit off because
exactly. And just let them just do it.
They're bougie. Well, not so much Brie, but Nikki's bougie as hell, so she could.
Which is exaggerated. Yeah.
Yeah, exaggerated.
Be total Bellas. I don't watch it.
So
I'm sorry. I don't watch any of it. I'm sorry.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Next segment was the Battle Royal. Hilarious.
Oh.
Corbin, what's funny? I wasn't really too big on Corbin, but him being GM brought out the personality.
Yeah,
I'm actually liking what I'm seeing from Corbin.
Isn't that what a surprise? You let a person be a little bit of themselves, and they need to give more what a surprise.
More freedom, a little bit more tries on people,
Yeah.
Which, well, I'll speak on that after, but So in the Battle Royal, he makes a Battle Royal for the spot in the World Cup tournament. And when we get to the actual match, there's a whole bunch of nobodies, a whole bunch of gimmicks of people we never seen. Obviously, people that were gonna get run through. Corbin puts himself in the match. We have a conquistador.
You remember
on the side?
Hold on, do you remember the conquistadors from back in the day?
Yeah.
From like the oddities and all that. That shit was hilarious.
So
good callback.
Conquistador sitting outside the ring while Corbin's eliminating damn near everyone. Corbin finally gets the last man out. He's trying to celebrate the belt on ring. Realize the Conquistador is still there. All of a sudden, the Conquistador is German suplexing him. Angle slams him.
Oh, man.
He's doing rolls and flips all around the ring.
Wonder who that
pins him. Reveals Kurt Angle is now in the World Cup.
Oh.
It was a hilarious segment. I won't even lie. I definitely laughed out loud for sure.
Yeah, that was really that was good. Unfortunately, I got that blown because social media, but seeing the whole build up to how it actually happened, it was really good. It was a really good. It's been a really good show so far.
So, next up was Ember Moon versus Nia Jax. Honestly,
it's a friendly competition, right?
Before I even say anything.
Do I know that? What? Huh? What? Does it look like I care? Do you care? Tell me, do you care? Do you care? Yes. Do you care? Yes. Do you care? What?
Can't help it.
I don't care about this match. There's no reason this match is going on other than regular exhibition. It did nothing for Nia. It really did nothing for Ember Moon, who really hasn't been given much to do. She's excellent in the ring. Haven't been given much to do.
Nothing.
Nia Jax coming off of her little break. It was whack. I'm sorry. It wasn't needed.
There.
It was just there. It was a part of the show that was just there. Speaking of a part of the show that was just there, Bobby Roode, Gable versus the Ascension.
Oh, yeah, I was okay. So when Bobby Roode's music hit, when Glorious hit,
I gotta hit him with it. I gotta hit him. Just one more time.
Like I care? Do you care? Tell me, do you care? Do you care? Do you care? Yes. Do you care? What?
They're trying to build Gable with Bobby Roode. It's just not gelling. They're both great, but it's coming off real cheesy, real goofy. I don't know if that's exactly what they're aiming for with it. And then you got them going against the Ascension for 3-4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, that's
what?
That's what I was about to say.
Why are you still burying the Ascension?
They're not even burying the Ascension. That's the crazy thing. They're not.
Oh, they're adding more dirt.
I mean, Connor, I'm pretty sure his name is, or the other. I'm sorry, I don't remember which one. But he beat Bobby Lashley and Gable in singles matches, which made no sense because Bobby Roode and Gable were building up momentum, and that just cut the momentum in half. The story is that that Gable is under Bobby Roode's wing, and Bobby Roode, the veteran, who's won the United States Championship, who was a former NXT. It makes me sad. I'm sorry. It just makes me sad when I talk about Bobby Roode in the main roster. It just really makes me sad.
I'm just over this storyline, and to prove that point, the best part of this storyline was the AOP coming out.
Oh yes.
And destroying all of them.
Yes.
That's what I want to see. AOP's finally getting their shine. Them beating up random jobbers, bunch of no names is hopefully finally over. Hopefully they transition into maybe a triple threat tag team. I'd like to see that if that's where they're going.
And Drake Maverick stopped cosplaying as AOP, and now he just has on just regular clothes. And
why did he decent?
It makes it's so much better. It's just so much better. It's just so much better. But yeah, that was a great. That was great. That was a shining moment of almost. Oh, that was one of the shining moments of Raw. To be honest with you, like I wish the music would have played a little bit longer, but like when the music hit, it was just like, oh, what's going on? And AOP just run out there and they beat up everybody.
Yeah, the fans were into it. They were chanting for them.
They beat up Gable.
Running down. They forgot about Bobby Roode. They forgot about Gable and the Ascension. It was all about AOP as it should be at this point.
Yeah, they're gonna get those. I'm liking the way they build it, but definitely, yeah.
So right before the main event, Heyman comes out, plugs his champion, triple threat, crown jewel, the normal stuff. Then it leads into the rematch from Super Showdown Shield versus he didn't say much, just regular stuff. Brock Lesnar, undefeated, undisputed, whatever he says.
Well, if I may volley for a second, sir, that was me trying to do my Paul Heyman impression. That was me. That was me doing a Bruce Pritchard impression of doing a Paul Heyman impression. It didn't work, but I like Paul Heyman promos. I always do, but this one I was just like, oh, okay.
I love him, but
this one I was.
It's not a knock on Paul at all. Paul's amazing. It's just
this one I was just.
Really still am not ready to hear about Brock. I'm not ready for him to be integrated into storylines yet.
Can I really tell you how I feel?
I don't even want the idea of him winning that title even in the picture right now.
Can I tell you how I really feel about that segment?
Crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care. Jimmy crack corn and I don't care.
That's how I felt about that segment, man. That's really how I felt about that segment. And I love Paul Heyman, but it was just... okay.
Yeah. But the actual match, Shield versus Dolls of War, it was pretty good. Yeah. It was a little bit more dissension in the Dolls of War.
I think it was better than the match they had at Showdown.
Yeah. It was to me. Not only that, Drew picking up that win.
Yeah, Drew always looks good.
Yeah,
he just looks like a star.
He's next.
He looks like
he's
a star.
Next. But just more of the same in that regard as far as Raw.
But wait, hold on. How it ended? Dean Ambrose hit the pin, right? He got pinned by Drew.
Yeah. So. They pretty much cleaned the ring out. Everybody was, dives to the outside, and Roman taking care Spears, Braun Strowman, and Dean gets distracted, turns around, gets hit with a Claymore kick, and pretty much loses. The biggest outcome of the match was the fact that after the Dolls of War celebrated their victory and headed to the back, he didn't wait for the Shield. Dean walked straight to the back by himself, leaving his partners in the ring. So they're still dabbling on the will he, won't he, is he going to turn heel? But it looks like this week they're leaning heavy into the possibility that he's going to turn. Or maybe not even turn, maybe just, hey, I'm done.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm going to do me.
Listen.
He could have been world champion. He could have been IC champion possibly a week or two ago, which made no sense. Any man in this sport, any man in this business is going to say, I want that heavyweight title. Brotherhood or not, that's what we're here for. So I think, that's probably weighing heavily on him. So I see him probably leaving them alone, telling them straight up, I'm done.
Dean Ambrose, since he came back, he just looks like a heel. He walks like a heel, he wrestles like a heel, he talks like a heel. Turn him heel, I'm with it. Make Dean Ambrose the biggest heel in the world. So, before we get to this good old SmackDown, we have some wrestling news. We have Nick Aldis. This is for people who have Honor Club. You would have seen this, but Nick Aldis, the former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, beat Christopher Daniels in a really good match.
Nice.
Cody had his first NWA World Heavyweight title defense against Willie Mack. Willie Mack is a mix between the Junkyard Dog and Keith Lee. That's how he looks. And this dude, he's a heavyweight that can look lightweight. And the ironic thing about this is when Cody first won the Ring of Honor championship, his first title defense was against Willie Mack. So I guess he likes wrestling Willie Mack. The crowd chanted "Fight Forever." Willie Mack had Cody hung up on a tree of woes, and this is, like I said, this is a bigger dude. He hit a drop kick from coast to coast.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that actually pull off that coast to coast.
Not a lot of people that can do that. And then, Cody Rhodes ended up hitting the crossroads on him. 1, 2, 3. And Jazz, remember Jazz?
Oh yeah, NWA Women's Champion.
Yeah, she's defending hers at the 70th anniversary against Penelope. Penelope is Joey Janela's girlfriend. Now,
I'll be honest, but ever since this whole thing with All In, Cody winning that belt, and it's definitely put a spotlight on NWA.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even known there was an NWA Women's Champion, let alone that it was Jazz, who's still wrestling.
And that's from all this comes from 10 pounds.
Who honestly was ahead of her time when it comes to the Divas era.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was a woman's wrestler. She was a woman's superstar. She definitely be a big veteran to go now. I don't know if she'll get that spot because Jazz is up there in age at this point.
I mean, hey,
and I don't think they looked at her as far as like a Trish Stratus leader coming back type thing.
No,
Depends.
I mean, but she's the NWA World Champion, so she's good. She's defending against Penelope. That's Joey Janela's girlfriend. Joey Janela is the guy that Adam Page faced at All In. I met Joey Janela and Penelope at the ICW show that I went to a couple of weeks ago. Speaking of, I went to a House of Glory show the other week. Sami Callihan versus Bubba Ray. Rich Swann. I forgot the other guy that he was with. Tag team against LAX. LAX is from Impact, so they're gonna face the Young Bucks on a Cruise of Jericho. So it was cool seeing them. And yeah, man, there was a couple of good matches there. There was a couple of good matches at the independent shows. There's one coming up on Friday. Jack Swagger's going to be there. ICW's having another show coming up, and also House of Glory's having another show coming up. I think we're going to roll to one of those Ring of Honor shows pretty soon too, right?
Yeah, definitely. The one in it's Jersey.
Was it Jersey?
Yeah, Jersey.
Jersey, and then we're going to go to Evolution.
Yeah, Long Island.
Yeah, so we'll bring you shoot some footage.
I definitely want to check out Evolution. People are seeing it as hey, they can't go to Crown Jewel, so here's this, but it's more than that. It's a historic moment. Now is the time to show and prove they could get a lot of things out of this. More women's focused titles, more women's probably a women's focused show. Who knows?
I always thought that there should be a women's intercontinental championship. But the tag team championships make more sense. So it's you can include more people in it.
All this friendly storylines for the women to actually make sense.
Listen, that's my problem with the women's, because honestly, one of the most interesting storylines in WWE for me is Becky Lynch and Charlotte. The common theme with all the storylines in WWE is it's based on friendship. When you go back to the beginning of every single Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss, they were friends. It was friendship. Becky
Sasha,
Lynch,
Bailey,
all about friends. It's all
Becky,
based
Charlotte.
on friendship, and it's all because women like what are you saying?
Bella, even the Bella Twins, Ruby Riott thing.
Yeah,
their friends versus their friends. Except
why can't it just be two?
Rousey has 2 less friends.
Exactly. Why does Ronda Rousey have to be best friends with everybody? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's BFFs with this person and tonight it was friendly competition between friends Nia Jax and Ember Moon. Why does it always have to be in friends? Why can't it just be you have the title, I think, won it, so that's why we're fighting?
I think the writers just don't know how to properly write stories for the women.
It seems low key kind of sexist to me.
A little bit, but for the women that are outside of the actual title pictures, it's a little harder for them to get written up storylines for, which shouldn't really be a problem. Hey, you're in my way for this. You're in my way for this next title match, or simple. It's simple. Book them like the men.
Yeah, but
stop being scared.
Exactly.
They've been holding their weight. They've been actually keeping me interested in wrestling, as far as WWE goes. In those moments where, like you say, has its lows and it's not as interesting.
We were watching that interview with Kevin Nash the other day, and he was talking about the Sasha Banks and Bayley match at Takeover.
That was,
you know what I'm saying?
Honestly, that in that year, that easily beat all the men for the match of the year.
Yeah, I was canning
easily. Segueing from that into
Speaking
women's, wrestling and Evolution and stuff, we have SmackDown.
Yeah,
SmackDown SmackDown opened with the actual championship match. No promo.
Wait, what? Say that again?
SmackDown this week opened with a championship match. No promo. The ladies were already in the ring.
Yes.
Ladies were already in the ring. Title in the air. Let's get it started right from jump.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's how crazy. How surprising is that? A wrestling show started with a wrestling match.
So this match was hard hitting, back and forth.
Yeah.
Great match. My only problem with it, again, and it's Becky is not a heel.
Nope.
She's not gonna be a heel.
Nope.
We're not gonna accept her as a heel. She's the people's champion to us.
Yeah.
We're not accepting it. Yeah. Charlotte's the heel in this situation, and they're still booking her in that. They're trying to get her to do this. I mean, it was a good way to piss off Charlotte, because I love how she showed her frustration having to deal with Becky rolling out of the ring. Yeah. They're getting near countouts, back and forth.
I will say that it did look like in the beginning of the match that Charlotte was healing it up a little bit. And I always, if
they're going back to that direction, pull the trigger faster.
They do.
Because
they just need to
Becky's just not a heel.
And it's weird because the fans,
we love this Becky. This is the Becky we wanted.
The fans don't want to boo Becky, and they don't boo Becky, and they cheer her, and they boo Charlotte. Don't reverse Roman Reigns her. Don't do that. Don't do that to her.
So, they end up actually
doing
the double count out. But what made this match and everything revolving around it pay off for me was the fact that they took the aggression up to a whole new level.
Definitely did.
Becky walks off. She's getting her win. Charlotte goes after her, spears her through the Titantron. Now, we've seen this a million times, but we've never seen the women do it. Yeah. And it was like, finally. Yeah. This is the type of thing I want to see. Yeah. They can do it just as good, if not as, better than the men. And Becky and Charlotte proved that tonight.
Yeah, we've seen a return of Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy made his comeback. Delete.
After almost deleting himself in Hell in a Cell.
The return of Brother Nero tonight.
We knew he'd come. So we knew. And he's up against Samoa Joe. Yeah. And Joe has nothing really going for him now. After
it felt a little
Super
weird.
Showdown.
It felt a little weird seeing Samoa Joe. I remember I asked you that. I said, do you feel weird seeing when we watch SmackDown? Do you feel weird watching looking at seeing Samoa Joe now after this?
And I told you I just want to see where they're going with, and what they went with was they stopped the match because Joe selling the leg injury from Super Showdown. Yeah. What does this do for Joe?
Doesn't make him look good. does not look Joe. It does not make Joe look good at all. Especially since it's a kayfabe injury, and he's had so many real life injuries. It's just like that, and that stunted his momentum so much. His injuries, so to play up to this kayfabe.
And this match was for a place in the World Cup tournament.
Yeah.
At Crown Jewel.
Best in the world.
Pushes Jeff Hardy into that position. So now it's Jeff, Cena. They're the first.
Yeah, Kurt and Kurt.
Oh, and Kurt. They're the first three.
Yep. It's 4 people from Raw and 4 people from SmackDown. They're in this one night World Cup tournament at the Crown Jewel tournament in a beautiful city.
So
of Saudi Arabia.
with Joe coming out of that championship match against AJ Styles and this ending this way for him, I don't know. I just don't want to see Joe fall to the wayside again, and
Definitely
it feels
not.
like this is where they're going with it. So
Hopefully not.
Next up was
Speaking of AJ Styles.
the Miz TV segment, and Miz has to keep his professionalism. Orders of GM Page. How'd you feel about this segment?
I love Miz TV. And Miz is gold on the mic. Miz, I mean, we talk about this on and off air. Miz is gonna be the WWE champion maybe sooner than later.
He needs to be champion sooner than later.
He walks like a champion. He looks like a champion. This is a great segment. You know how Miz does with these segments. He tries to pit the 2 people that he's against, try to put the 2 guests against each other. But Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles have a lot of respect for each other. So they weren't really, falling for the Miz's tricks, but
there's one thing the Miz says, and it's just true. He makes things more interesting.
He does. I'm called the Miz.
We already want to see the match, AJ versus Bryan, but the drama behind it, the storyline build-up is all Miz. And if Miz is not going to be in this match, it's kind of a damn shame that he's the one that started the spark for it to even be interesting at this point.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Just on paper, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles, I don't even need no build-up. I don't need
build-up either. But that's what I'm saying. We all wanted to see this match, but he just gave it that next level of interest, and that's just another testament to what the Miz has been doing the past year or plus.
This is the Miz effect.
And it is. And honestly, Can
you explain? Hold on, before I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but explain, because I think you're the one that coined this. I'm not sure. I think you coined this, but explain to people what the Miz effect is.
Well, to me, the Miz effect is pretty much anything he touches becomes gold. Pretty much, he elevates everyone around him. People who weren't interesting before, they become interesting. People who, and it's not just me talking. It's proof. Alex Riley was a nobody.
Yeah.
He was walking right next to him at WrestleMania. That's his moment. Alex Riley looks back. That's his moment. Yeah. The B team. Sandow was doing nothing. And we got a great run before Sandow left.
Yeah.
With him being Miz's stunt double.
I feel like whatever show Miz is on ends up being
this whole Daniel Bryan feud.
Raw,
Miz carried that entire feud. It was interesting because the Miz made it interesting, and that's the Miz effect.
Yeah, that's
he's built that up. He's built that. He's earned that because
I was there to see him defend that world championship against John Cena at WrestleMania 27.
Yeah.
I thought I just saying I was there.
So, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan's laying into him, throwing the jokes towards Miz. Obviously, not taking him serious like always.
Same professionals.
He stood professional until the very end, and honestly, it felt like another talking smack.
Oh my!
Blow up promo, and he laid it into AJ Styles. He told AJ Styles, don't you think there's a reason why the WWE title is not defended in the main event at pay-per-views? Look in the mirror. And quite frankly, it's true. Yeah. When Miz was Intercontinental Champion on Raw, he was main eventing.
He definitely did main event as the Intercontinental Champion. He definitely
So,
did.
you know, I personally want to see Miz in this WWE title picture sooner rather than later. I think he's put in enough work in this time Daniel Bryan wasn't able to wrestle that he shouldn't have been overlooked and Bryan passed him. Especially coming off of Super Showdown. He lost quick. Yeah, that was the running joke in the segment, but his shoulder was up. The ref wasn't in a position to see the shoulder up.
You know,
so Miz has a legit.
Talk about that during the segment.
He did, but they kind of swerved it quick, like kind of brushed that fact, away. Probably they were like strapped for time because it led into the next match, AJ Styles versus Shelton Benjamin.
That was a really good match.
Yeah, and I'm glad Shelton Benjamin is doing more things. I spoke on this on the last podcast too. That it's about that time. It was like finally moment when he spoke up, and now it's 2 weeks in a row, high profile matches. AJ Styles pulled off the win, but it was still a good look for Shelton Benjamin, and I'd rather see him doing something rather than nothing.
Absolutely, I absolutely agree with you. It was a really good match. Daniel Bryan and The Miz were out on commentary just sending shots at each other, just really just digging into each other. Daniel Bryan was saying how he's a way better wrestler than Miz.
See, but Daniel Bryan's stance on The Miz, I can't agree. There's legends who weren't even great wrestlers, but it was the all-around ring psychology, the things they did as the total package. Not everybody is a Kurt Angle amateur wrestler style, wrestler. Not everybody's a Bret Hart.
Yeah.
There's Roddy Pipers. There's Steve Austin's. And Steve Austin used to be a technical guy. He could get technical when he want, but it was a long time. He was just straight up fist.
Yeah, he turned into a brawler. Yeah.
And Miz is like a chameleon. He does the safe style, but he can branch sometimes. He's definitely had his moments where he's taken his, like, come on, that championship win, he finished that match with a concussion.
Yeah, but those two were on commentary, really, really digging into each other, and then AJ Styles ends up winning a really good match with a phenomenal forearm.
Next segment was
oh man, horny marks. Get ready for this segment. It got hot and heavy in
Night
Milwaukee.
in Milwaukee, Part 2. The rest of the tape. How do you feel about this segment?
Man.
I think this week it lost all its steam.
It lost all its steam.
The way it was pulled off, it was like they definitely could have stretched this out.
It could have been.
So,
what they should have
I'll give this segment a 2.
I'm really pissed off.
Yeah, I really am pissed off about this because this had so much potential. They should have shot a segment where Lana was saying something that was very suggestive, just like she said, "I want you." He should have played another part of the tape where she says something like "I need you like right now," or something suggestive, and then stopped it again. You
made this juicy storyline for the past 2 weeks, and then just kill it.
It just
kill it. She reveals the
refs,
refs, and it's it was just a hey, I appreciate what you're doing for Rusev, and then he made a little pass at her, and she denied it and walks out.
Yeah.
Then
exactly. Like, come on.
It wasn't needed.
That's how I felt about it, because it's just, man, like it could have really milked it for a lot longer. They could have got a lot more creative with it.
So, moving on.
Yeah.
Some good news. Rey Mysterio's confirmed for the 1,000th episode of SmackDown next week.
Yes.
And not only that, it's for the World Cup.
And he's taking on
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Man, I was hoping that we would get a Shinsuke Nakamura sighting this week. I mean, because he's only the United States champion. But
Yes. Yes.
But Nakamura doesn't speak English, so he's probably having a hard time getting to the matches.
Oh, that's what it is. That's why he's having a hard because he doesn't.
Yeah,
speak
I mean
English.
it's his gimmick.
He can't.
It's kayfabe, bro.
It's
Come on the mic. It's kayfabe.
I guess he can't ask Paige for a match because he can't.
No, he can't speak English, so he's
And then Renee's doing commentary now, and Renee seemed like to be the only person that can understand him, and she's on Raw doing commentary. So, I guess, nah. They played the really good video package for Rey Mysterio though. I mean, like the WWE plays the best video packages in the world.
It just reminded me how good Rey was and everything he's done. Biggest little man there is in the sport.
Yeah.
Definitely, and Rey's in the best shape of his career right now, I think. So
yeah,
I hope they just do this right.
Signed a 2-year contract with him, so I'm pretty sure this is it. I'm pretty sure this is like the last run.
Well, if it's the last run, he's gonna go off in a high spot because
he should.
He's one of the greats. Next matchup was main event.
The
returning Big Show. Now I'm not gonna show any kind of enthusiasm. For this match. It was going this for the spot for the Crown Jewel World Cup, and it's like. Yeah, like, what was the point? What was the point of bringing back Big Show just for him to lose, just to put Randy Orton over? Now, where the fuck was Ty Dillinger?
Yeah.
If he's playing off this broken hand stuff, I would rather him come with a cast in his hand, get his ass whooped by Orton, if that's the route they want to do, and do that. Bring Big Show back for him to lose. Come on.
Makes no sense.
He's a fucking giant.
Makes no sense.
Honestly.
Do I know that? What? What? Does it look like I care? Do you care? Tell me, do you care?
Okay.
Do you care?
Okay.
Do you care?
No.
Do you care?
Okay.
No, not really. Definitely don't care. Overall, SmackDown was a decent show. The Miz segment was a highlight for me, and the Becky and Charlotte made the show. They started the show. I don't think anything that followed kind of held a candle to anything they did in that match.
That AJ Styles Shawn Benjamin match was pretty good.
Well, yeah, that was pretty good. I take that back.
I mean,
but
I think it was a good show.
Becky was the highlight. Becky and Charlotte was the highlight, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely gonna post something about them, and I always do that. Yeah, that spear through the LED board was really cool. Seeing Jeff Hardy come back was really cool. I feel like his comeback may have been a little bit wasted. It could have built it up a little bit more, but I mean that's the way I always look at him. Always nitpicking, just because that's what you should do. AJ Styles is celebrating his 337th day as WWE Heavyweight Champion. 337 days.
Vince is somewhere in the back doing the Mr. Burns with his hands clapped together, waiting to pull the trigger on killing his run.
Maybe. There was no R-Truth and Carmella this week, and I was a little sad about that, to be honest with you.
You know what? I didn't even realize that. No Carmella sighting.
I didn't realize until after.
This is probably like one of the first SmackDowns.
Is Rikishi about to... I'm sorry, we just segue completely from this. Rikishi about to jump in this cage?
Yeah, every episode we kind of like to have a pay-per-view, old school pay-per-view playing in the background.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Fully Loaded 2001.
Holy shit!
Rikishi versus Val Venus.
Val Venus just took a splash from Rikishi off the top of the cage. Good gosh.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite pay-per-views.
Ric Flair.
This whole run
Woo!
of pay-per-views in 2001. One of my favorite ever.
Yeah, that's... Sorry.
You're not taking that. That's 300 plus pounds splashing on your chest. Look at that. If people were scared to take Jeff Hardy's Swanson, you were not taking this from Rikishi. Hats off to Val Venus. People forgot how good he was, too.
All right, hashtag Val Venus. Choppy, PPP. If you know, you know.
Well, I guess that wraps up the week in wrestling. What's coming up? What are we going to talk about next?
What's coming up? We have a NWA show on October 21st. NWA 70th anniversary. Nick Aldis versus Cody for the NWA World Championship. We have Evolution coming up that we're gonna attend. We have Chris Jericho's Cruise of Jericho, which I think I'm gonna go ahead and just announce.
This is a loaded month.
I'm gonna go ahead and announce. I'm go ahead and announce it. Chris Jericho's Cruise. After that, that's gonna be the first
episode.
That's the first official episode
of the live cast podcast. That's
opening
podcast.
Night. Yeah, of the live cast.
Okay,
that's a podcast. We're gonna be doing a podcast on a live cast, so it's a cast.
Yeah, we're just casting things.
We're on Kayfabe, so
yeah.
So just meet us between Gimmick Street and Kayfabe, and we'll have everything.
Yeah, this is for the people that hang that left off Jabroni Drive.
Yeah, so you hang the left off Jabroni Drive. It's if you went past SmackDown Hotel, you went too far. Hang the left on Jabroni Drive. You see Gimmick Street, right there on Kayfabe Ave. We're right there.
We're right there.
And we're there with the live cast podcast, and as much as I would love to continue to keep talking and rambling on about wrestling, I must bid you a farewell. Goodbye. Mwah. Good night.
And Kenny, take us home.
Good